What's up guys, this is the Honest Outlaw here, and today I just wanted to do a quick EDC video. I noticed that I haven't done one in about 2 years, and these videos are pretty easy to do. The other reason why I do them is because people ask me all the time, what gun are you currently carrying? And the reality is those things change, because I'm a gun tester, so if I trust a gun, I will carry it just to see how it feels. This is going to be my EDC that I've been carrying a lot lately, and this will be for 2019 because I imagine me carrying these particular items on at least through the summer. Before I do that, I want to thank my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys very much. And I did want to mention that I got a couple of new Patron items that some of you guys requested. So I got the K-bar, the traditional K-bar, and I'll probably have to pick up another one of these unless you got, because I already opened the package of this. I've never actually owned an original K-bar, and I kind of wanted to see it and take a look at it. I think my wife threw away the package. So maybe I'll get another one, and then maybe I'll just send this one out to some lucky guy who doesn't want the package or something. I also got an Ontario Rat 3. This is also in the package as well, and I'll be giving away these two knives this month, I think. Either maybe I'll do one for this month, or maybe I'll do them both for this month. Hard to say. But I really appreciate your guys' support, and because of that, we're going to be hopefully ramping up the giveaways a little bit more, since, you know, YouTube demonetized almost all of my videos at this point. I think. Thanks for that, YouTube, but I really do this for you guys who support me. So Patreon not only will get you entered in the giveaway, but it'll also allow you to ask me questions. I am going to be doing the Patreon Q&A pretty soon. I have all your guys' questions, and I just haven't figured out my internet. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, instead of doing a live chat, I'm going to pre-record it. That way you can see my smiling face, and I'll answer those questions, and that'll be a quick way to solve it for now, because the reason why it's been postponed so far is because I live in the middle of nowhere, which is an advantage for shooting guns, but a disadvantage for internet. In case you've ever seen any of my chats with KS Gun Guy or Yankee Marshall, it looks pretty ridiculous because I have terrible internet. But beyond that, I also want to thank Ammo.com. They're a constant supporter of the channel. Because of that, they leave a link in the description below for $20 off any order of $200 or more. Now, past that, let's do my EDC. I want to mention straight up that this isn't my only EDC items. I do carry a cell phone, car keys, and a wallet, but I didn't figure you guys would be very interested in that because I don't have a cell phone review channel or a wallet review channel. I have a gun and knife channel. Well, I haven't really done too many knives, but I do like knives also. So let's get into my EDC. First, I want to talk about my sunglasses. I've got a couple different pairs. This is just the one that I come up. People ask me about my sunglasses all the time. These are just Oakley's. Most of the ones I use are Hollowbrooks, I believe. My wife told me, and I like these. EDC weapons here, the thing I carry the most, and it is almost always with me, is going to be my Spyderco Enduro 4. I absolutely love this knife. I have a bunch of these. I actually get them on eBay for like $50 a piece because I use these as like a multi-tool, as you can see here. I break the tips a lot because I'm just prying on whatever I'm prying on, turning screws. I do a lot of that with them. I'm a tree trimmer by trade, so I cut a lot of ropes and things like that. That's one of the reasons why almost all of them will have serrations on them. I know most people like the regular blade, but I like the serrations in case I need to cut something real nasty, although they are more difficult to sharpen. But I really like this knife because it's a mixture of really thin, which I like a lot. It's very lightweight. I think it's around 2 ounces or something. I always forget it's there. And not only is it thin and really lightweight, but it's also a very high quality and sturdy knife, and it's long enough to use for defense if I want. I like that 4-inch blade to get into the really good parts if you actually need to use it. So I love the Enduro 4. If I'm carrying anything on me at all, it's always going to be at least this. Past that, its constant companion usually is some form of Glock, and this year it is the Glock 43X. Now, I chose the Glock 43X over the Glock 48 because I shoot them both side by side. I have yet to do either of the reviews, but this is going to be a little bit of a spoiler alert for those who just watched the EDC video. I like the 43X more, and that's because I shoot them fairly similar. The 48 does have some advantages over the 43X, but honestly, for me personally, I'm a pretty good handgun shot to begin with, and I shoot just fine with the 43X, and the 43X is easier for me to carry. The thing I didn't like about the 43 necessarily wasn't the sight radius, it was the grip. I got bigger hands, and the grip on the 43X fits me so well. It's easier to draw, it's quicker to draw, more consistent to draw, and for me that's the most important. If I can't get the gun out in a situation, that's a real problem. And I've had a lot of experience with fights, I guess, and a lot of people have experience with gunfights. I have a lot of experience with hand-to-hand fighting. I was actually a bartender and a bouncer for a lot of years, and if you end up on the ground with a bunch of guys that are trying to kill you, I want something easy to grab and easy to get out in case I gotta do some work. So not only that, but again, it is faster to get out also, and with this bigger grip, it does make it a little bit easier to shoot. Still has the Glock reliability of the standard 43. I'll have a 1,000 round review out on this guy shortly. I already have 1,000 rounds to it, and I have done some upgrades also. It has the Ameriglo Spartan sights. They're my favorite for little pistols. Not only are they night sights, but they're also made of steel. They're very tough, so they won't break or move when I don't want them to. And they have that high def front, which I really like. It helps me focus on that front sight, especially if you're in the moment and you're all stressed out and you got a threat focus and you just pull this guy up, see it in your periphery, and bang, bang, there goes your bad news. But not only that, but I've also threw on the rubber talon grips because the Glock grips are too slick for me. And if you put on sandpaper grips, although I do have some sandpaper grips on some of my carry guns, the rubber grips are fine too. And this gun I carry the most out of all the guns that I'm going to show here. And I carry this appendix a lot of the time, so if you got a little bit of a gut down there, the rubber grips are nice. I also added, after the reviewing process, I added a Johnny Glock trigger. And the reason why I added the Johnny Glock trigger is because, spoiler alert for the review, the 43X trigger kind of sucked. It sucked to the point to where I was unhappy with the groups I was getting, but I was happy with the rest of the gun. So why not try the Johnny Glock trigger, and voila, it works. It reduced the poundage just a little bit, but mostly it makes it a crisper, cleaner pull, and it reduces the reset a little bit too, making me faster on the trigger, and I like that. The price is a little bit steep. I'll do a review on these also, but what I like about them is they are a custom trigger without looking like a custom trigger, so it just looks more stock. If I didn't tell you, you wouldn't even notice, and it functions really, really well. Carry it in this Phalanx Concealment Holster. I really like this because if I want to go appendix, I can. If I want to go 3-4 o'clock, I can. And it's just a really comfortable, really easy to use holster. I don't remember where I found these from, but I do really like this. Now this is the gun I carry the most because I don't live in a war zone or anything like that, and I'm pretty competent with this gun, so a smaller gun works for me. But believe it or not, when I'm on my walks at night, a lot of times I've been rehabbing my Achilles. I re-injured my Achilles, which super sucks, but I've been rehabbing it, so I'm trying to walk on uneven ground, so I'm kind of zigzagging back and forth on the gravels at night before I do my PT, before I go to bed. And I've been carrying the P07. And I like the P07 because if I get a chance to carry a bigger gun, man, I have to say it, but this is probably my favorite compact gun of all time. I shoot it really well because it's got very similar ergonomics and very similar controls and a very similar trigger to my CZ Shadow 2, which is probably the gun I shoot the most. So this gun just feels amazing in my hands. So when I get a chance to carry it, obviously you can tell that I carry this frequently and shoot it frequently because it looks like shit. But guns that you use a lot look like shit. This gun I trust with my life, probably above even maybe the Glock 19. The Glock 19 I like to say is the best compact gun because of all the magazine compatibility. It's a little bit lighter than this gun. I think the Glock 19 is actually 4 ounces lighter than this gun. But for me, if you have a good holster and a good belt, that doesn't bother me that much. Now you notice I have the O-Light on it. And the O-Light's got that QD mount. It's because, believe it or not, when I carry this gun at night, and I know this is kind of a stupid system, but what I'll do is I will carry the gun in the holster like this, and when I carry this, I carry it with a full mag of Winchester PDX Defender, because that's just the ammo I've been using lately. I like to carry this, and I like to hold this in my hand, because when I'm walking at night, I don't want my neighbors and stuff, the neighbors I do have live a mile down the road, I don't want them to drive down the road and see me just walking around with a handgun, because I like to look at things at night, because I get bored. So I have this, and if I need to, at some point, I can either shoot with the light, without a problem, whichever way you want to do it, or if I have time, I can put the light on because it's super easy to take on and off. So I'm a big fan of this little combo so far, and I know that's not good for most people, but it's been working for me. So I like that. I like the reliability, accuracy of this. I like the throw of this little light for the weight that it is. Super impressive. I used to carry around a Surefire G2X, I think, and either that or the other one I have in my truck is a Fury, maybe. A Surefire Fury, and those are just much bigger than this, and this has almost as good a throw, and this light's only like $100 or something like that. I know O-Light's in some controversy right now, but I really like their products so far for the price they are, and I don't care if I lose this as much as I care if I lose a Surefire light, because they're like $300. This holster is going to be an eBay special. I actually trimmed this holster a little bit right here with a Dremel, because I like to get a good consistent draw, and I don't like when the holster lips get in the way of the trigger guard because I ride the gun really high. So I like to get my knuckle in there, and I like to draw it, and I like to be ready to put 25 rounds down if necessary really quickly. So I trim this out of the way just enough to where nothing can get in there, but I trimmed it. And I guess it probably had a full guard here, I'm guessing, because honestly P07 holsters can be a bit difficult to get a hold of. So I kind of just bought this one and then just made it whatever holster I wanted, because you can do that with Kydex. And it's just got a standard belt holster also, or belt clip also. So this thing has never failed me. I know people don't like the clips sometimes, but not a problem for me. And the last thing I want to talk about, I'm not sure if I've talked about this yet, is going to be this Headhunter Blade. This is the most expensive knife I have ever purchased, and it's the tiniest little knife ever. And the reason why I purchased it is because I was watching too many YouTube videos one night, and I felt like I needed a straight bladed knife for some reason, and I actually really do like this knife. I got this knife, it's, like I said, it's from Headhunter Blades. I don't remember the exact model, but they don't have very many. And it's kind of like a clinch pick, but it feels really good in my hand, even though it's really, really tiny and really light. And I know it looks small, but this thing can do a ton of damage. Like those, I used to carry a K-bar TDI knife, and you would be amazed how these little sharp, small knives can put a mean hole in somebody real quick. And the straight blade's nice because if you get into a scuffle, grappling match, something like that, somebody gets you on the ground, maybe they get you mounted or something like that, you got to whip this guy out. You're not going to have time to fold it. Sometimes the folding mechanisms can give you problems with your thumb, and sometimes they even break. Whereas this guy is very strong, very sturdy, and it'll go right in the ribs if necessary. So I like this a lot. It's super sharp. I try not to use it for anything else other than self-defense stuff, but occasionally I open boxes with it when I got nothing else around because, you know, what do you do? I'm human. But I think this knife is around $400, and I've always wanted a super expensive knife to see what the difference in quality is. And for me personally, I haven't really noticed that much of a difference. If I found a model of this knife that was $50 and it was made of shittier steel, I probably wouldn't notice that much. I don't know a lot about the different steels and how they rust in salt water and things like that, because I live in Iowa. There's not a whole lot of salt water around, so I don't have to worry about that kind of thing. But the handle feels really good. I can draw it consistently, but the main reason why I like this knife is, number one, you can put it in the sheath either way you want, it'll still lock in place. It came with a trainer knife, which I really like also, so whenever my buddy Max is around, we both train jiu-jitsu occasionally whenever I'm not injured and being old as fuck. And when we do that, a lot of times, he used to be a police officer and we used to do combatives together, so we'll do a little scuffle knife training every once in a while, every once in a great while. So it's nice to try that out and see whether your equipment's going to work, if somebody's trying to put you in a headlock or somebody's trying to choke you to death or whatever it may be. So a trainer is really nice, and the best thing about this knife that I still haven't mentioned yet is going to be the clip. The clip's insanely good. This is kind of like, I think Dynamic Alliance. Man, I don't remember what they're called, but they have a clip similar to this also. This might even be that clip that Headhunter uses, but this, you know, if you put this in your mesh shorts, or you put this on whatever you're going to put it on, it doesn't have to be on a belt, this thing will hold, and it will draw no matter what you do. I mean, if you clip this on your t-shirt sleeve, you can draw this thing out, and you're not going to get it out otherwise, but this clip holds so well. I don't know what else to say. That's been my EDC. I know that a lot of guys, when they do EDCs, they have a whole bunch of shit. Like if you watch Yeager's channel, he's got 2 Glock 19s, a shield. He carries a Remington V3 TAC 13 in his boot. And then on his truck, he's got 4 AR-15s. And then it has a dumped out minigun where all you do is press a button and the sunroof opens and the minigun pops out. It's got a rocket launcher on it. But personally, I don't need that. Like I said, I'm 6'3", I weigh 220. I've done martial arts since I was a little kid. A knife and a gun's good enough for me. If you carry 2 guns, more power to you. If you carry a CZ Shadow, or you carry a 2011 of some kind, you carry a 50-ounce handgun, or you carry a FK Bruno 7.5, then go nuts, man. The problem I have with people online, though, is they like to push their beliefs on people, right? So a P07, this is all I ever need. If you need a Glock 34 to feel good, then do that, because that's a lot of times what concealed carry is about. Carry a gun that you feel comfortable with. It makes you feel that you can get through the situations that may happen in your life that are likely or whatever. You know, they don't have to be likely. If you carry a 44 Magnum because you live in Florida and you're afraid a gator's going to pull you into the pond when you're playing golf and you want a 44 to get through their skull, then carry it. Nobody cares but you, and nobody's going to see it but you. When I walk through Shields or Walmart, nobody knows I have a gun on me, and they don't care. They wouldn't care if I did. So carry what you want. This is what I like. Carry something that you shoot well and you can carry all day and feels good to you. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please help out your local homeless shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.